Dave. Tim Fitoa spent much of this season as Bill Elliott's Winston Cup spotter, but when Armando Fitz, the owner of the 12-car, benched Kerry Earnhardt, he got the phone call to try to get his team and this career back on track. His last win came right here at New Hampshire in 2000, Marty.
Together, when I slowed up, that night ran me over and spun me out. So once that happened, I knew it was going to be a long night. Wreck happened in front of me. I slowed down, got run over. So it's too bad we had a good car, but should have known better to be there in the first place, I guess.
And that was the race for 7th place gone bad.
Tim was having a good run.
He and Ashton Lewis racing for that number 7 spot.
Okay, is this number 12? 12 caution?
Yeah, there we see.
This should be 13.
13.
That's what I talked about earlier in the show, and I said, when you go down on that guy that's got that nose up there, you can't flatten the back of that car.
Keller.
Clear. Stay down and keep digging. Stay down. Come on. All the way back. All the way back. Don't give anything up. Caution is out. No pressure behind you, buddy. No pressure. You'll roll out.
Well, Keith Barnwell's done a job keeping Jason Keller free of that trouble tonight, hadn't he?
He is.
So Tim Fitoa's torn up race car behind the wall. And we're coming close.
He's mad.
We're coming close to breaking the track record for cautions in a Busch Series race. Marty?
And I've caught up with Timmy Fitoa. What happened?
You got cameras all over the place. I mean, I was having a little problem getting in, and I guess Kevin, I think it was Kevin, I guess he wasn't having no problem getting in because he just moved us. You know, I don't know if he didn't do it on purpose, I'm sure, but it sucks because we had a good car, and we're going to have a good run for this Fitz-Bradshaw Hot Tamale. I don't know, man. It's racing here at Bristol, I guess. It's Night's End was helping us out tonight, and I want to have a good run for them, but that's racing at Bristol.
It was Ashton Lewis who was behind you.
Was it Ashton that hit me? Well, you know, I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose either, but you're going pretty fast here, and we could have used the top 10 finish tonight, but it wasn't meant to be.
Keep it in the context that they were battling for 7th. Great run for these guys, gone bad.
Yeah, they were.
You got it. You're the man.
Shane Meal.
Make that 4 talent.
Oh, he gets Jason Keller hard into the wall. Caution is out.
Boy, there's a lot of debris down there, too.
Oh, easy. Jason Keller, one of the contenders for the NASCAR Busch Series Championship, crashed heavily.
There's trash everywhere up here, but they don't stop it.
With 5 laps to go. The pace car is out in front of the field and stopping them on the back straightaway. If they had come around one more time, they'd have been beyond the point where NASCAR would have put the red flag out to stop the race.
Well, I know everybody on TV can't hear the crowd, but we can hear the crowd, and they're applauding pretty heavily. And now that they threw the red flag, they want to see this thing go green to the finish.
All right, let's take a look at what happened. Shane Meal had gotten knocked out of line or shuffled off of turn 2. Shoots down to the inside of the backstretch.
And he just slides up the racetrack and gets right into Jason Keller.
Where he was at on the racetrack, he was so low that it was just bad position to try to go into the corner that hard. He's just trying to salvage his position on the racetrack.
Top of the screen, watch how hard Keller hits. Remember, that's the new safer barrier, though, here at Richmond, the softer wall. Those big styrofoam blocks in behind the steel designed to try and absorb some of the impact. And that was a driver's side hit for Keller. Now, this is off turn 2.
Clips Vicker there in the left rear a little bit.
Yeah, he just did not have the right angle to be going in there like that at all.
And that's tough for Keller, 4th in the championship. Close to the end of the race, close to getting the top 10 finish. And now he's not going to finish. And we continue to watch the work done around his car.
And he will take the walk over to the ambulance. Clear. All right, we're in the crash. 48 just wrecked us, Smoke. 48 just wrecked us. See if it'll keep rolling, buddy. If it'll keep rolling, keep digging.
That was a shot.
Well, the good thing was seeing moving right away there.
Yeah. And Jason has just gotten out of the car and walked over to the ambulance for the trip to the care center, which is good news.
Now he did a good job here. This could have been a lot worse. You can see him, second car on the screen, starts wiggling. He wrecked for maybe close to half mile, quarter of a mile, just didn't hit anything.
Gets down the grass and slides, and he drives through all the logos in the grass. I know these track officials hate that.
Tim back out on the speedway, though. 1 lap down, 26th place. Nice save.
Very good save. Really no damage. He might have got the right rear on the wall, but you can see the spoiler still on it and up where it needs to be, so he's in good shape.
Jimmy Johnson joining Benny and I for our coverage today while Wally races. Tim Fitoa again. Another long slide off the corner down into the tri-oval grass.
Almost on top of his old marks.
Yeah. And guess what? That keeps her going once again.
Kind of consistency.
What do Yogi say? This is deja vu all over again.
That's a big break for Hamilton Jr., that caution.
Our Lucky Dog Award is going to go to none other than Wally Dallenbach.
You know, you're right.
Because 2 cars on the that advanced.
Yep. When Hamilton Jr. had his penalty and pulled off, Johnny Sauter and Casey Mears went in front of the then leader, and they put Wally up there to get the old Lucky Dog Award.
Hey, Wally, BP. I guess he's talking to the crew. Wally, BP.
BP.
You lucky dog, you.
The lucky dog?
Yeah.
Lucky dog, I'm a lucky dog.
Yes, you are. Congratulations.
Thanks. I'd like to thank all my sponsors for this Lucky Dog Award. And, good. Now we get on the lead lap. Keep working it.
Just keep working it. Attaboy.
Let me tell you who we need to thank. We need to thank Bobby Hamilton Jr. for jumping the start of the race, because that let Sauter and Casey Mears on the lead lap, put us 1 lap down behind the leader. So we need to thank him.
That's right, Larry Mack.
Thank everybody.
Casey Kane
Daddy,
got
we
a
thanks
piece
for
of
coming.
Fitoa.
Is there anything we can do? We got time.
It looked like the 29 was around the right rear of the 12 and pulled him around sideways. And the 38, I think, gets into the 12 here. Yep.
Yeah, has nowhere to go. Just kind of bulldozes them out of the way.
Yeah.
But these noses are not made to be bulldozers.
On board Casey Kane, listen.
Hello, come on down. Hold what you got, all right? Come on. Caution's out.
There are pins and needles out there. I mean, when the car has consistent...
21 Oh, trouble, turn 3. Got a car turned around into the wall.
Scott Riggs.
It's one of the championship contenders, Riggs. Oh, and he gets hit again and again.
Talk to me when you get a chance, Scott. Talk to me.
Title bid over.
I'm okay. Car, but I'm okay.
Yeah, he's okay. Just trying to get all the air back in his lungs that was knocked out of him. See Casey Atwood, the 14 car. Looks like his teammate Tim Fitoa in the 12 also some damage.
Scott Riggs in that 10 car started the race in 20th position. He was involved in a crash late in last Saturday's race at Rockingham when he was the championship leader, dropped him from 1st all the way to 5th in the standings, and now he doesn't even finish 1 lap here at Homestead today, and his title bid is over.
So we can see what might have happened from our helicopter view. Cars go down in the corner, and it looks like he's got bumped from behind.
And that was one of his teammates that bumped him, BP. That was John Wood in the 15, who was driving a 3rd car this weekend for that race team.
See, once again, on the outside.
Oh, boy.
Man, oh, man.
That is going to make John Wood absolutely sick.
We have an onboard camera with the 15 car driven by John Wood. Let's see what happens here. There you see the contact. Oh,
You know, I think that the traffic just backed up into the corner more quickly than he expected. It looks like he was pulling over to get behind Riggs going into that turn, and Scott just slowed down because of the traffic jam in front of him.
And again, on the first lap, you just do not want to go in on the outside until you know exactly what your car is going to be like.
Casey Atwood's 14 car, you see there, all torn up in the jam up. Tim Fitoa, the other car involved, the 12. Those two teammates for Armando Fitz and Terry Bradshaw, both of their cars in this race torn up in the first lap crash.
And they had another car on the way down here to Miami. The trailer caught fire and burned the contents of the trailer, so they withdrew the third car.
On board Scott Riggs as his championship bid comes to an end. So now watch, he's going to back up here to keep from running into the guy.
Well, he just didn't want to go on the outside 3 wide. That was Regan Smith in the 56 car there. He just did not want to go on 3 wide on the outside, so he backed up a little bit more than John Wood thought he was going to.
Boy, oh boy. So heartache for Scott Riggs.
Oh, and we have a crash on
turn 4.
Paul Wolf finally spun off turn 4, and around he goes. It's going to collect about 10 cars.
You could just see when he was in the center of that pack, he was having a hard time keeping that thing in the middle lane.
43 is Josh Richardson. Mike Wallace just crashed onto pit road, scattering somebody's pit crew.
22 got, well, he got in that grass, and that grass is still wet. You cannot slow down in this grass.
Martin Truex, Paul Wolf, we called his number earlier.
Oh, man.
That's Mike Wallace, who crashed into the pit wall after coming out of the wet grass. 77 car, also in it, Donnie Neuenberger. There's his machine.
9 cars.
9 cars in all involved in the crash. Tim Fita was driving away. 62 of Larry Hollenbeck's driving away.
Well, you could just see that coming, Benny.
You could.
Watch that 6 car in the center. He could. It just didn't seem like he could stay in the middle. He was going down. He was starting up.
Oh boy, hit Kyle Busch.
And Busch somehow keeps control.
And I don't know how Michael Waltrip got through there either.
And Junior was under the 6 car, and Wolf tried to come down. Junior was there. He had to go back up. He got the car going back and forth, and just finally could not save it off turn 4.
Watch Michael Waltrip in the 99. I don't know how he gets through this thing. Right there. Watch this. Whoa!
Right in front of Fedewa, Josh Richardson.
And now I see Mike Wallace into the grass. He'll end up across the pit lane and into the wall, protecting the pit crews from the racing cars.
I don't know what the heck, why he went up the track like that so much. I think just broke loose on him.
Daytona rookie lesson.
You know, and he's part of a program called the Hungry Drivers Program. And at the end of the year, hopefully one of these 4 drivers are going to use this year would get a free ride. He did not do himself any good today, did he?
Coming at you.
Yeah, Busch did a good job saving that car after he got hit.
So the 6 car going to be rolled back behind the wall for damage repairs. And now check this out.
And this is pretty scary here.
Mike Wallace in the 4 car gets turned into the grass, fights it, and watch how he ends up hitting the wall, separating the pit crews from the race cars. If you are ever at a racetrack, rule number 1 is never turn your back on the cars. Never turn your back to the direction the cars come from. That's why pit crews always have to be paying attention. Another big wreck. Now up to 10 cars are tally under caution at Daytona. A NASCAR Monday matinee on this President's Day from Daytona Beach, Florida. The NASCAR Busch Series Hershey's Kisses 300 under caution after a multi-car pileup off turn 4.
Watch the 6. Paul Wolf goes up, gets in the side of the 5 of Kyle Busch and comes down in front of Timmy Fitoa, and it's on. No place for all these cars to go. Mike Wallace, a red 4 car, comes down through the grass, ends up hitting the inside wall.
You don't realize how fast you're going betting until going backwards or sideways.
Where you get on that grass and you say, man, just no traction whatsoever in that wet grass.
And the list of those involved in the crash. We put Michael Waltrip in there. He got nicked on the side by the Paul Wolf car when he came back across the track. And let's hear from the man who was at the...
It'll be 17 laps to go, and they come...
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Around goes the 38, the 4, the 1, the 33.
Look out pit road, look out pit road, look out pit road.
The 46, the 95, and the 12.
You know, that's a place we've not normally seen the big wreck break out right in the middle of the tri-oval.
I believe with this package that through the tri-oval, when people get under you, it just loosens you up just enough to get you sideways.
Mike Bliss, Casey Kane climbs out of his car. He's okay. That's the car that ended up against the pit wall. Tim Fedewa's car still wrecked in the grass. At lap 100, 17 laps to go. Fedewa has put the window net down, so he'll be able to climb out. There's Ashton Lewis with damage to the rear. And the right front down, Dick Berggren.
With Casey Kane just got out of his car, what was it like out there?
It was fun all day. It was
no, I mean just now.
Racing. It was great racing, but I don't know. I saw a couple cars hit, and I knew I was going to be involved in it. And it's too bad. We had a good car. I got back there a little bit. I was trying to work my way back through, but tough day.
We're glad you're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Thanks, Casey.
Car's done. That one along with Tim Fedewa and Mike Bliss. Those cars look like they're finished for the day. There's damage to the rear of the 46 of Ashton Lewis, among others. Let's see what happened here. Coming into the tri-oval to complete lap 100. Bottom of your screen.
Like Mike Wallace got a little bit loose right there like you talked, Darrell, and then came back up into the car that was on the outside
Yeah,
of it.
he bounced off a biffle, and when he did, there was a car under him, and they got together, and then away they went.
Of course, half the field's behind him here shortly after a restart.
Boy, everybody jacked up from behind him.
Tell you what, the tri-oval here, I know people, you know, you just don't realize how you're going 190 mile an hour through a tri-oval that's got 14 degrees of banking. Can suck you around in a hurry.
This would be looking from like pit road.
Casey Kane turned around.
Typical Talladega wreck. Yeah. 2 cars get together, 12, 13 cars end up being victim.
Yeah, Benson slammed up into the wall, and Bliss.
Well, watch that 38 car go all the way across pit lane and slam right into it right there.
In real time. Let's have another look.
And in real time, that means at 190 plus miles per hour. That was right with Ashton Lewis. Looked like at one point he almost made it through the wreck.
Man, those are hard licks.
Into the safer barrier. And driving away. Jason Keller.
He was one of the lucky ones. He made it through. Remember, Jason was one of the ones at the beginning of the race had the strategy of staying behind everybody to try to see if they could get out of the big wreck.
Here are the cars involved in the wreck. Benson, Wallace, Fitoa, Bliss, Grissom, and Kane. There's Kane's car. Lewis, Compton, and David Keith. Now, more than half of those cars were able to drive away. I'm going to add Paul Menard to that list, the 33 who spun down to the grass off of Benson. Now watch the 38 of Kane. He's up against the outside wall, just to show you how much speed they're carrying through here. Misses everybody. comes to rest against the inside wall. From Dale Jr.'s pit, they see it unfold.
Well, I always preach to my guys, no matter where you're at, never turn your back on that racetrack.
Johnny Benson's car under repair. Dick Bergman.
And what they're trying to do here, Mike, is just get this car fixed enough so that Benson can make one more lap. That would give him additional points over those cars which cannot make that additional lap. So if they get this thing to run and just make a lap, it's going to be worth some championship points to Benson, and that is the point of what they're doing.
Yeah, and he just had moved in the top 10 in points after the Nashville race a couple of weeks ago. He was in 10th.
We'll be back to sort things out and get restarted. We still have 15 laps to go here in Talladega. Fourth caution of the day. It's for the big one in the tri-oval. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. Welcome back to Talladega, where Martin Truex Jr. is the leader. We are inside of 15 laps to go, working the fourth caution of the day for a multi-car crash. Wall spinning in front of traffic. Tim Fitoa. Everybody gets through. Second caution of the day.
Blew out.
Sound like he said it maybe blew up. He was one of the out.
Can't see anything right now, guys. As he gets rolling out.
Blew a tire is what I guess he's saying. But he was one of about a dozen cars that just came to pit road. I don't think for tires, but for adjustments on that last caution.
Let me ask Dale Jarrett, who's with us in the Hollywood Hotel. Dale, is Greg Biffle a marked man?
Well, it may look like that right now, but you know, these guys, Kevin Harvick is really good on the restarts, and you get a really good run through 1 and 2. If you can be in the gas more than the other guy, you're just going to run up on it. But you know, Greg's a competitor. He's not going to let these guys beat him around. He's going to probably try to get a better jump this time and stay out in front of them.
Yeah, Harvick got a great restart. And I think the problem with the Kyle Busch is that his tires had a lot of buildup on him. He went in the first turn, and the car took off up the hill, and I think it took him by surprise. Whoa, man, that thing's going around in a hurry. Fortunately, it came back down the racetrack. My goodness.
And look at everybody scattered. We're very fortunate this was just a one-car crash.
There was a lot of cars coming toward him.
Driver's side right there.
Now, here's what happened after the restart to leader Greg Biffle.
You get that run on a guy, and you just don't want to let up, because you know if you do, you can't make the pass.
And that...
There's more. They're still wrecking. Look at that.
A big pile up in turn 2. And it happened well off the lead in about the third pack of cars. As they ran 3 wide and got closer and closer, something finally gave. Casey Atwood's in it. Justin Labonte's in it. Up against the wall. That looks like Justin Ashburn. Ashton Lewis was there. Gus Wasson and the 79 of Keith Mert, who had just gotten the free pass on the last caution. And Johnny Sauter as well.
You know, the interesting thing about that was some of the cars actually wrecked after the wreck already had happened. Here comes some cars that didn't get slowed down quick enough. See if we can see what happened back in here. I think I see a blue car going to hit a green one. Yep.
Oh, that's Fedewa going sideways.
Yeah.
I believe that was Jeff Spraker in the 56. We just had talked about him, gets into the back of him. DW, this is the trouble spot of this racetrack off turn 2. Always is.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Fedewa was lucky to get away because the big pileups out in the middle of the racetrack.
The whole thing about it is, there, you think back to Casey Kane in Cup practice. There's a big dip right down there in the middle of 1 and 2. And when you hit that dip, it upsets the car, and you never quite catch up with it. And sometimes you just get out of control off 2.
Not sure who that is, but he manages to drive right through it all without getting hit. All right, watch the bright green car of Fitoa right there on the right of your screen.
Here comes Spraker. Yeah, that's Spraker underneath of him, and he just pushes up into him. There's Ashton Lewis and the rest of the crowd.
Fitoa drives away.
Lucky man.
But when Ashton Lewis drove to the right to miss it, actually he got into it and things stacked up behind him, and you see they're still wrecking back there.
DW, we see that a lot. The car wants to move up the racetrack right there.
Yeah, the driver just, it sucks the air off the nose, and the front of the car takes off, and you can't do anything about it except either hit the wall or the guy beside you. It's a really tough spot right on this racetrack.
Now there's the rest of it unfolding.
That's why a lot of guys like to run off that corner real high. So you get up high there, you get a little bit better angle. Get down low, it just seems like the car wants to pick up a great big push. And it takes off, and when it does, you can't do anything about it.
Riding with Kenny Wallace right here. This is what it looked like out of his rear bumper back at this wreck.
Well, let's look at it from up above and see how all this unfolds. There's the green car left of your screen. There's the initial contact. Now watch that white car go to the outside, and that's where the log jam is, right there.
There's a couple of, as you come off turn 2 over, there's a couple of dips, and the front of the car starts bouncing, and into the car on the outside it goes.
And the car I wondered about that drove through the grass and drove away was Derek Cope. Casey Atwood was up against the wall in that. Kurt?
Well, we just watched Casey Atwood's crew go to work on the car, and it seems like, I don't know if he beat him off pit road or not, but they had severe left side damage, and they did not beat the pace car down pit road. And so what they've got to do is come back in and work on the car. But what led to that is that they came in and topped off, and thinking that they can make it the rest of the way on fuel, that put them in a bad position on the racetrack.
You're exactly right, Kurt. Hit Mike Bliss, Casey Atwood, and Jason Leffler. But the biggest thing I see, Kurt, he did not beat the stop sign, but that lip on that spoiler has come loose, and NASCAR will not let him run without that 90-degree lip on that spoiler that's mandatory.
You're exactly right, Larry Mack. They need to get some rivets put together and put it back on the car, but maybe take a hammer to it so it's not quite at the 70-degree rule.
We're going to be a little while cleaning this one up. It's the third caution of the night in the Winn-Dixie 250 presented by Pepsi. Jimmy Kitchens, who brought out the last caution, has been treated and released at the Care Center. Third caution of the night of the NASCAR Busch Series on FX, presented by KFC.
NASCAR Busch Series on FX, presented by KFC. Thanks for being back with us. We're under our third caution, counting at least 11 cars involved in that mishap on lap 54. Martin Truex Jr. still your leader. He came in as the Busch Series champion by 28 points over Kyle Busch. Dale Earnhardt Jr. running second, and Robbie Gordon in a Chevrolet running third. Jeff Hammond, guys pulling into the pits.
Yeah, we see Johnny Sauter right there in the 27 car. He's getting repairs done to him, and I believe it's also the 46 car of Ashton Lewis right now. He's getting some work done, and we see a lot of cars coming down pit road trying to top off, Chris, so they can make it to the finish and be in contention maybe to make a move toward the end on these guys that are leading the race right now.
So they won't need to stop again.
Shouldn't need to stop again. We just saw Bobby Hamilton driving out of the picture there. He's been good all day, coming to the back of the pack. See Mike Bliss. Looked like Ron Hornaday also. So we've got a lot of guys coming to pit road to top off.
Let's check in with Steve Burns on Bobby Hamilton Jr.
No tires for Bobby Hamilton Jr., Chris. They made a track bar adjustment because Bobby said his car had gotten very loose when traffic is right behind him. They didn't want to burn their last set of tires. Now they should be able to go to the end on gas because they also topped off. Kurt Busch.
Well, Justin Labonte's in for just some repairs on the right front. He had a decent run going. They just got caught up in that. A bad break for Justin Labonte as Casey Atwood again pulls away from pit road with doing normal repairs on the left side.
All right, thanks, Kurt and Steve. Jeff, recapping real quick the incident, what started the 11-car mess?
It looked to me like Jeff Spraker came up and clipped the 12-car Tim Fedewa, sending him around right off of turn 2. Tim Fedewa was very fortunate. You notice the blue car,
the 12 car
coming up and touching the lime green car of Tim Fedewa across the nose of all these other cars, and basically the big one.
43 laps to go. A big one involving 11, or at least a strung out one. Part of what we might see tomorrow when we go 400 miles on Fox. We'll be back on FX.
We're under the third caution of the night here in Daytona in the NASCAR Busch Series. Martin Truex, Dale Earnhardt Jr. teammates leading. Here are the 11 cars involved in the crash. Smith, Mert, Wasson, and Cope have those cars either behind the wall or under repair. Tim Crosby on pit road working on the number 51 car.
Doesn't it? You know, that's exactly what happened to Justin when he came here this weekend, and there's trouble on the racetrack, Wally.
That would be Tim Fedewa in the 12 car, and the caution flag is out.
And he will not be very happy with one Paul Menard.
No, he will not. But fortunately, he did a 360 and did not hit anything, so.
Only lost a couple of spots, and so maybe all that anger is for nothing.
Probably flat spotted him, Gary.
I'm going to say he lost a little rubber, too.
They feel flat spotted, Tim. A lot of smoke. I don't think it's flat spotted.
Talking about the tires, once these tires stop and spin across this asphalt, it will just grind them off like a grinder, and they call that flat spot in the tires.
But if you stay in the gas, it's not as bad as if you jump on the brakes.
There we see the neon car of Paul Menard going up, get in the back of Timmy Fedewa there.
Oh, and your championship leader Truex sliding by to the inside.
Looks like he kept the tires rolling.
Yeah, I think he may be okay. Maybe flat spot of the rear is just a little bit, but.
Well, you could see Menard really dive on the brakes there when he realized he was running up on Fedewa's back bumper.
Nice save.
Nonetheless, third caution is out in the Siemens 200 at New Hampshire International Speedway on TNT.
Did he do the crime?
Right there in black and white.
He was murdered.
Law and Junior's car at New Hampshire International Speedway, and the cause of the third caution of the race. We look ahead. That's Paul Menard in the bright yellow car.
And then we hear Jerry.
Watch the spin in front of you. Watch the spin. Come nice, clear high. Caution's out. Caution is out. Nice job there.
Joey Meyer, the spotter, warning the driver.
And NASCAR Busch Series Racing for New Hampshire is brought to you by Exxon and Mobil retailers, who wish all the drivers a great race today. By Trim Spa X32, your dream body diet pill. Trim Spa BNB. And by KFC's $4 meals. 3 tasty meals complete with 2 sides and a biscuit for only $4.
Get a pit stop.
And it's going to put him all the way back to 20th place. You see the car in second place. The purple car there, that's Tim Fedewa. We're going to give the nod in his direction for our Just for Men rejuvenating moment of the race. This was back at lap 78.
He gets a little tap from behind by Paul Menard in the 11 car. Around he goes, but luckily no one hit him. He gassed it, goes on, and now he's in second spot with just 32 laps to go.
His pit crew brought him in for a stop at lap 104. He hasn't been in again since. The track position he's put to good use. And Tim Fedewa, with a temporary crew chief, Dave, is up in second place.
Well, that's right. Gary Coxwell had taken a position with Richard Childress. That didn't work out. You're back here. Your car's pretty good. Aren't you glad you're back?
Well, I'm having a lot of fun. We started out and we were terrible. We stopped a lot of times early on in the race. Wedge out and track bar up about a mile and a rubber in and air out. And then worked out well for us to get some track position there about lap 100. And we might get passed by a couple more cars, but I think we'll have a good finish out of all this when it's done.
Gary's been doing this a long time and got Fedewa where he needs him to be. Marty?
From second to 20th, Harold Holley, why did you have to make Bobby Hamilton Jr. come down pit road?
First top 5 of the year for Tim Fedewa, and you would think that you won the race by how many people have come by and congratulated. First off, what a great rebound from the spin.
Yeah, it was. You know, I told my guys, just don't give up. This is a long race, and the cautions worked in our favor. You know, we actually got ahead of them on gas mileage there, and it just all worked out for us pretty well for track position. I told Gary, and he didn't know that we needed track position, but we were talking back and forth, and we were just really tight at the start, and we kept loosening it up and got it better and better. And you know, that's what I like about my team. You know, these guys work hard and never give up on me. I never give up on them, and that's what makes it fun for me. I've had a lot of fun this year. We talked about it earlier, how I've been doing a lot of other things besides driving the last few years, and to come this year and run for Fitz-Bradshaw and Supercuts and Hot Tamales and all my good sponsors, it feels awful special.
Very strong day by Tim Fedewa, second here at New Hampshire.
Marty, just say, get yourself back in that stuff.
Have a caution. Car in the wall. Tim Fedewa with the 12 car. We saw him just a moment ago. Hit the wall. Looked like he hit it pretty hard going in turn 3.
And the yellow flag waves for a 7th time in this race.
Oh, man, did he ever hit that wall hard?
Yeah. He did hit it hard. You know, this is only a half-mile racetrack, but you can hit it hard. Now.
Yeah. Now.
What does Brad Parrott do?
This is the question. He was pulling away from Busch in the 5 car. Busch had just gotten by David Green in the 37. I think Green's probably going to have to pit. I don't know. He'll probably have to pit. Well, let's see what Brad Perry and the 60 do.
All right, they got their caution flag. 45 laps to go.
Let's check out the cause of the yellow flag as the rescue workers check out Tim Fitoa.
Got down the corner, looked like he got in the corner a little bit too hard as he tried to stay in front of Johnny Sauter in the 27 car. Around he went. Clint Boyer looks up and sees trouble. Corner.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this. With the little progress that Sauter has made back through traffic, he's in 8th place. The guy that Biffle has to worry about now is Kyle Busch.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, here comes Biffle on pit road. Oh, man. And David Green.
Got the other 3, Tim Fitoa. And the caution flag is out for 6th time. Oh, boy. He may be okay, but his car's not.
You need a rollback for that one. Yeah, both left sides are flat. This left front won't roll.
Let's see. That's Johnny Sauter. Robbie Gordon.
Boy, Robbie Gordon just thrilled of getting into the corner.
Man. Crunch. Thank goodness for the safer barrier. Bottom to top. Well, I'll put the pace car back out in front of the field.
Yet again.
Slow this race for a 6th time tonight.
Now those guys in the lead, they've got to pick pretty soon. They've got to stop.
I would say now, do it under the yellow. And let the rest of the race work itself out. I think this is the time to do it, Benny.
Well, pit road is closed here because of safety truck sitting across the opening to pit lane. Fitoa's car sitting just off of turn 4 toward the start-finish line. He tried to drive it back around and didn't get very far, obviously. And Tim out of the race car and is okay. So the question becomes, do those leaders give up track position for a pit stop here? We don't expect Truex. And
a little bit of a loss in points. Kyle's on the move.
Oh, trouble! Look out! Labonte gets
Fitoa, Mike Wallace.
I'm sorry, I said Labonte. That was Tim Fitoa. My bad.
Oh boy, he got the inside wall, didn't he?
Looks like it. Trying to turn the engine off. You see the engine.
I'd say he's a little hot inside the race car.
I'll go to the garage.
That's too bad.
So this should be caution number 10 in this race. Still a couple away from the record, by the way.
We had such a great start to it.
I know.
Flat left sides there on Mike Wallace.
Yeah, caused by the spin.
Look at the smoke still hanging in the air. Okay, VP, do your thing.
Currently, we see the contact there between Jimmy Spencer in 74 and Fitoa in 12. And Fitoa just nails the gas trying to get the car to spin around, but what it did was drive straight down into the inside wall.
Ended up running into the inside wall, and whether Wallace had help or not, I'm sure he did. He was just trying to avoid the circumstance. And there we have Spencer into the 12. Justin Labonte's able to squeak by, as well as 47. I know this. Robert Presley. And Blake Fleet.
Oh, that's who we ran into. The 14 car of Casey Atwood. Wasn't the inside wall.
That's his teammate, isn't it?
Yep.
Unfortunate.
Double damage for Fitz-Bradshaw Racing.
Now you got
trouble in turn 2. 3 cars around. 4 now involved. 5 involved.
Mike Wallace
got caught up in that. The 4 car.
The 00, Blake Fees is involved.
Johnny Sauter.
Yep.
Wow, Fitoa, a lot of good
Fitoa.
race cars. Well, they were good race cars.
Yeah. No more.
Now I think we'll see the 14 come in.
You think?
I think so.
Would you gamble on that one?
I'll take that gamble.
Yeah.
Ooh, looks like Sauter got down and he was real low on the racetrack, bumped up into the 12 car of Fitoa.
Shelby Howard was involved, and they're still wrecking. Fitoa still having trouble just getting back around. That's over in turn 4. Not sure how that happened.
Huh.
Wow. Maybe somebody not happy with what happened over in turn 2.
Well, if that's the case, I hope we got it. I want to see it.
Yeah, no kidding. Mike Wallace has made it to pit road. Blake Feast is still sitting inside his car, although he is moving around.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny Sauter just he was way down. I don't know if I think there's a curve down there.
All right, here's the one you were hoping for, Wally. Here's the second one with Fitoa.
Yeah, it looks like somebody was angry with him, and that somebody would be Johnny Sauter. I think Johnny may have thought, can we see that wreck again, the first one? I think maybe Sauter felt that Fitoa squeezed him a little bit down in turn 1, maybe.
Might have had something to do with it.
A lot of damage to Mike Wallace's car.
Well, we'll have to straighten this one out a little bit. Stay with us. We're coming back to Memphis right after this.
Driving trouble, turn 3. Oh, Menard. Paul Menard and others. Fitoa. Where is the 8 car? Did he get through?
Is that him coming off? Is that him?
I'm looking for the championship leader.
He spun.
The 72
got into it.
He started over at 3.
He got a piece of
rolling, but
Talk to me. Joey, tell me damage. I see the left side. All your tires look up.
It's Bonamanian, the crew chief, asking for a spotter.
Somebody just clean me out.
I'm gonna predict what happened here. Menard was slowing down to get to the black flag, and the pack behind him didn't see it.
there you see the 11 car down on the bottom. Actually, yeah, he just got loose there.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I thought would have happened too, but he did it in front of a lot of cars.
You see Randy LaJoy, I guess, gets tagged from behind, turned around right in front of the 12 of Fedewa.
All right, but where's
he got loose getting into the corner?
Where's the 8 in that mess? How do you get backed up?
He's a little bit further back. I think he got run into or something by the looks of it, because he wound up over on the apron.
Right there he goes. Nope,
no,
that's not him.
Not him. He's still to the right.
Yeah. The 12 car comes down, and I think Menard thought he was going to come on down, and he kind of stood on the brakes to avoid hitting the 21 car and spun himself out. Jumped off the gas, hit the brakes, and that'll spin you out almost every time.
LaJoy and Fitoa. Big hit there. Boston Reed slides through the middle in the 87.
And there's Blake Feast in 00.
Marty's guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just trying to avoid hitting the 21 car and spun himself out. All right, where's the 8? Hornaday goes through.
I think 8's still to the right. I think he's down there.
Yep.
Okay, he's on the apron and he got bopped in the back.
By 72, Kevin LePage, I believe.
Michael Waltrip's view. He's seen a couple of these today from this angle.
He's on the bottom. He's still on the bottom. Nice job, buddy. Had a way to get through there. Got a yellow. Got a yellow. Big wreck.
Go ahead, Matt.
Bono just told his guys, make sure everybody has on a fire suit and a helmet when they go over the wall so they don't get a penalty. Haskell Lavalette has a hammer. Sammy's got a baseball bat.
Much gap between him and the 5 getting into the
Got a spin, turn 2. Shane Meal. And more.
59 car, Stacy Compton.
Caution flag is out.
Oh, McMurray did not want to see that.
No, he did not. This wreck started a lap before it happened.
Yes, it did.
Did not see him coming off turn 4, 3 wide or something?
3 wide, and then behind that got bottled up.
That was one of those, everybody could see it coming. Probably even the guys behind the wheel.
Oh, my goodness. That's close to contact there.
So the caution out with 4 laps to go.
Water coming out, just spouting out of the 32 car.
And he's putting water all over the racetrack.
All right, now this is in turn 3, 3/4 of a lap before the wreck.
There, see the 00 of Rains and the 21 of Harvick make contact. Now here comes the 32 of Meal. Okay, they get side by side with Rains. Oh, wow. Shane just drove her down in the corner. And finally, he had to slow down so much to get under control. Harvick ran in the back of him.
Fitoa up over the top of Compton.
Watch this again. Looked like he was on dirt going down the corner, didn't he?
He's really loose right there. He's doing all he can. He's just so slow, Harvick gets into the back of him. The rest are casualties.
Oh, man.
Fedewa was trying to fly, wasn't he? This is how you drive the corner down in dirt. But this is not dirt, unfortunately.
Right now, Shane's thinking, whoo, I saved it. Wait a minute. I had it saved. You get bottled up like that, and they get so slow in front of you that, you know, Harvick got into the back of him, no doubt, but they just slowed down so much because Shane couldn't get back in the throttle.
Let's go on board with Shane Meal and listen.
That wasn't going to be pretty. Michael Waltrip's view.
Wow. Michael did a fantastic job to save that car.
Yeah, he did. A little green-white checkered rule here.
Yeah, we're going to go to overtime here at Phoenix. Is Shane Meal's car on pit road? Be lucky if they can get that repaired with that water streaming out from under it like we saw before.
They're going to burn this thing down, I'm afraid.
The official says you can't go anyplace. I don't know what the problem is, but the official's not going to let them move.
Well, the last restart.
And right there, oh, we got a crash.
That's Tim Fitoa, BP.
As we come back to live action. Now, I tell you what, that's lucky. When you can spin off turn 4 and not running to one of these walls, inside or outside, Timmy, you're a lucky boy.
Tim Fitoa from Holt, Michigan, series veteran. Got a flat right front tire there.
Yeah, be lucky if he can get back to the pits and not have some more damage than that right now. He's okay right now. If he can just get back in and get some new tires there, he'll be okay.
So we can see what might have happened. Top of the screen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, one of two things. He got hit or he got loose.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, he definitely was sideways. And they see it. Yeah, this you try to make the car better as the run goes on. You have to start the thing out a little bit free. So you're trying to go hard in the middle of the pack. It's easy for that to happen.
I vote for the got loose thing. We'll be back to Homestead Miami Speedway. USA Today is the place for a comprehensive look at motorsports. Get all the latest stats, standings, and race results to keep up with your favorite teams and drivers. Pick up a copy of USA Today every day.
Yesterday's USA Today front page, a picture of Kurt Busch.
Interesting story, too.
Yes, it was. Very nice story.
As we were saying about Hornaday and Biffle and Kyle Busch last Saturday at Darlington.
Oh, yes. Let's go back and revisit.
Likely something slippery on the track in a couple of places. So that's our 6th caution of the day, and it comes out officially for Tim Fitoa as Bodine brings his car to pit road. Well, Larry, 63 laps to go. Could this be your final pit stop?
There's no question. I was just looking at my numbers, and it's been about 25 laps since these guys were on pit road. And I think, based on talking to crew chiefs this morning, everyone could make it from here on fuel. I think this is probably where you give it that last set of tires, your best set of tires, and your final adjustments.
And a pat on the back.
And say, now you've got what you got, man.
Yep.
Time to go. But this is where you look at Clint Boyer's crew. We saw the mistake a while ago. This is where you don't need any mistakes. No speeding on pit road. No lug nuts left off. No pulling the car too close to the wall. This needs to be a solid pit stop, and that's obviously where Jimmy Johnson's crew has prevailed all day long, the 48 team. That's Jimmy Johnson in the 48 comes to pit road.
The proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. We are under caution for the 5th time today. Tough break for teammates Tim Fitoa in the 12 and David Stremme in the 14.
All right, what we're going to see David Stremme on the bottom, back in the throttle. Car wiggles right here. He corrects it and gets into the left rear of Tim Fitoa. It's basically the same thing that happened to Stremme a while ago when Aaron Fike in the 66 car wiggled and jumped up the racetrack coming off turn 4. And once again, Carl Edwards' big adventure continues. In the 60 car, he just barely gets by. You see right there, his car wiggled, he corrected, and it gets to the side of his teammate, Tim Fedewa. So not a good day for Fitz-Bradshaw's cars.
Look on board. Tough day for Terry Bradshaw. There he is, and Armando Fitz.
And of course, their 3rd car right now, Sterling Marlin in the 40 car, had problems early out there 18 laps down. And there you see the 2 teammates' cars sitting there. And, you know, I'm sure a while ago, Stremme was wondering what in the world happened to Aaron Fike in the 66. I think coming off turn 2. Now Tim Fedewa was probably wondering what in the world happened to my teammate, David Stremme. There you see Armando Fitz, the other owner of the team. Works daily with this race team, along with Terry Bradshaw.
Bradshaw just shaking his head. Can't believe the tough luck. This will make for an interesting episode of NBS 24/7 on the Speed Channel.
I would say it will. And you know what Bradshaw's probably thinking? The same thing I started thinking about 4 years ago when I went to the broadcast booth. It sure is easier up here.
Oh, I hate to laugh at their misfortune, but
a little bit of strategy going on here, Reed Soren. It'll be a fight for the
trouble off of turn 3 already. We got 2 cars around. Randy Joy.
Tim Fedewa win the 12. Caution is out. A lot of damage to that 12 car of Tim Fedewa.
Yeah, Brent Sherman came past and tore the tail off it, trying to sneak his way through there without success.
Well, that didn't take long.
Gosh, no.
You know, you'd think, guys, after yesterday, they might have learned something. We need to get further than this 1 lap.
Well, they did, but things happen, Jeff. Oh, that's a mess.
See everybody fighting for the bottom. Looked like Tim Fedewa with a 12 car went up the racetrack and got into the left rear of Randy LaJoy in a 34 car. And we're lucky we didn't have more cars involved. You see Paul Menard in 11 just barely squeaking by. Looked like someone did clip the 12 car there.
Yeah. It was Brett Sherman got into him.
The 58. Okay. Riding a Stacy Compton, the 59 car. Looked like maybe Tim Fedewa clipped that apron. His car shot up the racetrack and got into Randy LaJoy's left rear quarter panel. It happened so fast here.
From Kevin Harvick. As yesterday, snuck through another one.
That's a view he had for a lot of the laps yesterday early in the race.
This is one of those tracks where Richard Petty used to say, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. Need a little bit of both here. The scoring pylon in the center of the infield has been out yesterday and today, but fortunately Bristol, above the grandstands, baseball stadium style, installed over turn 1 and turn 3. These scoreboards, electronic scoreboards, so folks can help keep track of where their favorite driver's running. Run to the first caution of the day caused when Tim Fitoa got up into Randy LaJoy. Brent Sherman also involved. Let's ride with Michael Waltrip. Kevin Harvick just ahead.
In front of you, Rick, in front of you. Checking up.
Whoa!
That's about as close as you'll get without actually hitting something.
How did you put?
All right, Jerry, we made it through. Good job, Mike.
Yeah, J.J. Yaley there had the whole apron blocked as he was sideways in that Vigoro Chevy.
Now, so far, Tim Fitoa's crew, and you see the cars that were involved in the crash, they've been able to keep him on the lead lap. But the problem is with most all of the cars still out there is once you make a pit stop, you're at the rear of the field. Yeah, it takes the pace truck 58 seconds to get around here under caution, but by the time you maintain 30 miles per hour on the entire pit road, the time you get there, you don't have time to do any work.
Here's Steve.
Hey, Mike, one big advantage for Jeff Burton, besides his excellent driving ability, he has his...
Oh,
that's exactly right.
He sings both country and western.
That wasn't singing that you guys were doing. That sounded like a wounded cow to me.
That was a Busch Series karaoke. Tim Fitoa, now he's not a good singer, but he sure is a good chef on the racetrack. Sideways there.
Yeah, that first lap was not very good either. 34th quickest, 28.06 for Tim.
Made his 320th career start at Texas. He finished 16th. This team, it seems like they took a big jump up, Jeff Hammond, but they've kind of leveled off.
Yeah, I think they have leveled off a little bit. And Larry Mack, I was going to make a comment. I'm wondering right now if some of these drivers toward the end of this qualifying session, as Tim winds up 21st at the end of his second lap, a pretty good little pickup, as bad as that car looked coming for his second lap. But the...
They restarted and they crashed in turn 2 the second time around.
Same thing happened to the 2 car here that happened to Greg Biffle a moment ago. The 2 car just got a little loose up there in the middle of coming off turn 2, and he wasn't so lucky.
See, Tim Fitoa in the 12 car not very lucky either. Tim was actually having a pretty good run. A lot of damage on the 25 car of Ashton Lewis.
Clint Boyer spun and Lewis could not avoid him coming around. Fitoa spun to try to avoid it. Without success. A lot of damage to Boyer, and looks like Fitoa was looking for a push to get going from the apron of turn 2. Here's Matt.
Gil Martin and the team spotter took a look at the cars that came down the front stretch, Mike, already getting their game plan together for repairs. Now back on lap 10, Clint told his team the car was a little loose, but they expected it to come back to him as the lap started to wind on and wear got on those tires, but it didn't snug up enough, as you saw. Now they've just got a lot of problems. This team came into Phoenix 3rd in the championship standings. He's having a good year so far. Now they're going to have to try to bounce back from this early wreck.
Watch the extreme right side of your screen and you'll see Clint Boyer come into view backwards.
Yeah, he just come off the corner there, very similar to what Biffle did, and the car got loose. He didn't have a lot of room there, and the car started taking evasive action, and the 12 got into him, the 25 did.
Yeah, there just was nowhere for the 25 Ashton Lewis or the 12 of Tim Fitoa to go.
It's a good shot right here. We should see him get sideways off. Now he's already sideways there. And as you can see, he's into Ashton Lewis, which puts him into Tim Fitoa.
He came through that corner on the outside of Joe Nemechek, but no evidence of contact between he and Joe. Here's Tim Fitoa's on board. And
hold on to it if you can, brother.
A couple of hard licks.
All right, we got hit on the right rear. Car came across the racetrack here, right rear. I'll tell you if he gets rolling.
I think that was the 25 of Ashton Lewis that came across and got him. Let's see what we see from Michael Waltrip.
Check up
That's
right here.
just ahead.
Right here. Come on with it. Come on with it.
25 got into Fitoa.
There you go.
Yeah, Ashton Lewis, 25, went low thinking that he could get underneath Clint Boyer, and of course the 12 car was there. But Darrell, I go back to what Rusty Wallace was talking about earlier, that last night this racetrack was still loose, and it appears that maybe everyone was anticipating this racetrack was going to tighten up, and it looks like everybody's still running loose.
I think they had the qualifying set up in.
12 laps, 2 quick cautions in the NASCAR Busch Series on FX. You are on board with Tim Fitoa, the one car that will not make the restart. of the Bash's Supermarkets 200 here in Phoenix.
And then
trouble, turn 2.
Stacy Compton in the 59. Looks like Tyler Walker in the 38. And I'm not sure right now who that is against the inside wall. Tim Fedewa in the 12 car, brand new race car.
Not anymore.
Boy, Fedewa just has no luck.
Nope. Paul Wolf. Yeah, he will get the free pass, but there's a flat right rear on Fedewa's car along with the other damage.
Now, Darrell, you know, I just wonder for those guys that pitted a while ago if this caution will not be a break, because you anticipate that a lot of those cars that did not pit may pit this time.
I don't know, Larry. So many cars right. I think some of these guys will stay out a while yet. 42 laps, and I'd be staying out, I think, right now.
The accident was triggered. Well, we'll call it an accident because that's a good word to use. Appeared to be triggered when Stacy Compton got turned around. Let's watch it from Fedewa's viewpoint.
In front of you, in front of you, in front of you. We got hit in the rear. Got hit in the rear, and we hit the inside wall with the right side of the car.
And a look from here, that may have been Kenny Wallace that got into Stacy Compton. Yep, there's Kenny. And there's the contact.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, it's just hard to stay on the bottom off of turn 2 over there and try to make a pass, because the guy on the outside has really got to respect you on the inside.
Third caution of the night. And Compton.
Yeah, he's got fluid running out of that car, so he's busted. It looks like the radiator in the car.
And we're hearing that Tyler Walker will be penalized 2 laps, and one of the reasons is you cannot pass the pace car. I think that's what Kurt Busch got in partial trouble for last week at Darlington, was passing the pace car, and he did not adhere to the rule.
So 3 cautions in the first 42 laps here at Richmond in the Funai 250 on FX.
Spun out and I hit him and broke something in the front, and then come down to 3 and it just shot right on me.
Well, thank you, Michael. Good luck next time.
More trouble on the racetrack. Regan Smith and Tim Fedewa, they wreck in turn 2. That's the second caution flag that has flown so far.
Hermie, you mentioned turn 2 was going to be one of the trouble spots. We'll have to see if we can take a look at exactly what caused this accident, but see Tim Fedewa drive away. Regan Smith's got damage front and rear on this Glenn Motorsports effort.
Well, Tim Fedewa can't seem to catch a break. He's got a new crew chief with Mike Greach a couple of weeks ago, really trying to turn that team around, but cannot seem to get in the right place at the right time.
See, take a look, Mark, and what happened, Hermie. We're hearing that the 21 might have made some contact with the 58 of Regan Smith. There's a 21. That's the orange car left of your screen. See the 50. Look at, he looks to the inside, doesn't quite get there, but makes some contact with the back of the 58. Tim Fedewa, look, he made some contact with the 58. Made some contact with Tim Fedewa. Tim turned around. He's going to back up into the wall here.
Yeah, Tim just didn't have anywhere to go on that in that particular case. And the 21 probably, you know, this few laps into the race may have been a little bit too aggressive there, trying to get in turn 1. It's tight getting in there.
Take a look at this. Is Fedewa Supercuts on board. See, the 58 ran up after he was hit by the 21 and ran into Tim. Absolutely nothing Tim could do about it. Now you're going to see him hit the outside wall there.
Little sound effect there really gave you an idea how hard that hit was. The Supercuts Dodge has been clipped now there in turn number 2. And Brandon Miller last week, he had the very same thing happen, only he was on the receiving end.
He was the hittee last week, not the hitter.
Yeah. He heard me call him at it to be my dark horse tonight, and he wants to get to the front as soon as possible. But Tim Fedewa and Regan Smith are going to be out of the race because of that.
I'll tell you what, if he does any more of that, he'll go from the dark horse to Darth Vader with a lot of these drivers out there. Let's have another listen of that big-time wreck in turn 2 as we go to break here at Sparta, Kentucky. Busch Series Racing on FX, presented by Supercuts, continues here at the Kentucky Speedway. Second caution flag as we're working just the 21st lap of 200 here tonight.
We've got some radio communications with Carl Edwards to see what Carl has to say so far.
Here to Sterling Marlin. Sterling strapped into a new ride, and Sterling, you've taken over the driving duties of this Fitz-Bradshaw car today. How's it feel sliding into that cockpit tonight?
Well, it's the same. You know, all the cars we got pretty much the same cars, and car's really good in practice. Was 10th quickest on the Bonsai run and looked really good on the race runs, you know, on 50-lap tires. So hope we get a top 10 somewhere, and I think we got a car that, you know, the Janney King Dodge think we can definitely win the race.
Alan?
Sterling, one of the 6 drivers yet to make his qualifying run. Waiting on him, as well as Brandon Miller. And
1/10 of a degree will help the camber of the car get better bite off the corner. So yes, the crew would love to be able to have that, and that's why NASCAR is being so diligent about making sure they're legal with that.
Yeah, you're right, Ralph, that anything you can get away with is going to give you grip. It's going to give you forward bite. Place like this where it's a slick racetrack, I mean, that's a big advantage if if you can get away with it. But they're not getting away with it, appears.
Good lap for Sterling Marlin, 14th on his first trip around. 33.74. A couple of Busch Series wins to Sterling's credit, but it's been a long time. Back in March of 2000. Finished second at Charlotte earlier this year, driving for Fitz-Bradshaw. He's been behind the wheel of their 40 car for a number of races, and got the call when the team decided to part ways with driver Tim Fitoa on Monday of this week. Second lap a tick faster, same position for Sterling Marlin, 14th out of 47, and we come to the last car.